Okay, so questions?
Bhante, I cannot really clearly distinguish the first authority from the third one unless one has internalized the Dhamma. Otherwise, the third one is still, it's up to oneself.
Of course, the third one depends on oneself. Actually, all three of them depend on oneself. Even judging on the opinions of others, since others can't compel one to abandon the unwholesome, to cultivate the wholesome. But I would say that, yeah, I can say that there's some overlap. But I say that the first one, this is my interpretation. The first one, the person appeals entirely to their sense of individual conscience, their personal conscience, or their own intuitive sense of what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. The fear of self-reproach, wanting to avoid self-reproach, blaming themselves, feeling of guilt, and maybe wanting to pursue their own personal ideals. So that is their motivation. So whereas in the third case, the way I understand it, the person looks to the Dharma, to what is taught by the Buddha, as being sort of laying down the specifics of what is good, what is bad, what is to be cultivated, what is to be abandoned. And then they develop their cultivation based on the sense that they have made this personal commitment to the Dhamma, and therefore they want to fulfill the Dhamma.
But what motivated the first one to become a renunciate?
Of course, it's their faith in the Dhamma, but I don't know, anybody else have any ideas about this?
I cannot distinguish the first one from the third one. The first one is one has oneself as the internal censorship, and the third one is the Dhamma. But unless the third one has internalized the Dhamma, otherwise.
What causes the first one to follow Dhamma?
Okay, the first one, okay, is using oneself as the criterion. And so it's the appeal to one's sense of personal conscience, one's, what I call the inner monitor, which sort of monitors one's conduct and one's thoughts. Okay, and then it's on the basis of that internal intuition of what's good, what is bad, that one avoids what is bad and cultivates what is good. Okay, in the third case, it said that one takes the Dhamma as the authority. So I would say that here one looks to what is laid down in the Dhamma as one's guide to what is good, what is bad. I can see that there's some overlap between the two. So maybe it's just a matter of emphasis. Okay, you've caught me.
But is it possible to also separate one from the other? Because, like, sorry. Is it possible to separate one from the other? Because, like, when we act, when I act, it's my own conscience that's gonna make me do good or whatever.
Yeah.
But knowing that there are consequences too, and this is, I think.
Yeah, I would say that all three of them sort of enter into a person's assessments and decisions.
But then Dhamma isn't relegated to the books, as all the teachers say, it's life. So this consciousness, this conscience is also Dhamma. It's not exclusive one from the other.
Let's just see exactly what the... Okay, so here, say this is, make this the key phrase. Okay, so here he thinks it would not be proper for me to seek out sensual pleasures. And so it says, having taken himself as an authority, okay, the second is clear. One is concerned about the opinions of others, especially those with psychic powers. Okay, so here he's thinking as one who has gone forth into the homeless life in this well-expounded Dhamma and discipline. Actually, here it says, for one who has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, and it would not be proper. And then here it just says, as one who has gone forth from the household life into homelessness in this well-expounded Dhamma and discipline. Yeah, but in number one, of course, even though it's not stated, but it's one who has gone forth from the household life into homelessness in this well-expounded Dhamma and discipline. Okay, so there's some similarity. That's all I could say, some overlap. But I guess it's just a matter of what is emphasized. In the first case, the emphasis is on the sense of individual conscience and one's internal monitoring of oneself as the authority on which one relies to abandon the unwholesome and develop what is wholesome. In the third case, we could say maybe it's out of reverence for the Dhamma, out of respect for the Dhamma, that one determines to abandon what is unwholesome and develop what is wholesome. That's all I could say.
But also,
okay,
Bhante, sorry.
Oh, you have the, okay, yeah,
well, also, if we've seen some suffering or experienced some suffering, and I see that there's some way out of this. And once the Buddha says, oh, the Dhamma is good in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So even like someone like me, in the beginning, you see some results of it. It kind of motivates me to keep going, because it's given me answers right away, even in my shallow understanding. So I think that's what it was.
Okay, Stephen.
I was wondering if considering the cultural scene that this text came out of, if the first one might be referring to those recluses who were not followers of the Buddha, that they were perhaps more motivated by their own, what we might call hiri and ottappa.
Of course, what I would say is that being motivated by one's inner sense of, especially hiri in this case, it doesn't apply exclusively to a Buddhist or
right, or just a
to
natural sense of decency rather than following the Dhamma.
Yeah, but the way it's expressed in terms of a bhikkhu, so it's referring then to the Buddhist monk.
Okay.
So I would say that it certainly has a much wider application than to Buddhist monastics.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Simon.
Yeah, but this morning we talk about the renunciation of the intoxication of the youth life and the health. So my question actually, so it still means that it kind of implies that we have that power or capacity to let go of this kind of thing. So I'm asking the other side, and because I see a lot of people are dying, they are old, they are in the terminal stage of the cancer or something. So it seems that for those people, how do they see these things? Because now they are losing that capacity to, it seems permanent to them because it's the end of the life. So how do they deal with this type of thing if we are at this stage?
I would say for somebody who hasn't made the effort previously, then it would be, in most cases, probably very difficult to deal with it when one comes into the, say, the terminal stage of an illness, which is why we're always encouraged to make the effort while one is young and healthy. Yeah, there's a series of suttas. It's called The Fear or Dangers of the Future. Let me see if I could find it. Yeah, so this is the way this is for a forest monk to consider 5 perils. So now I'm young, a young man endowed with the blessing of youth, but there will come a time when old age assails this body. And then when one is old, it is not easy to attend to or to practice the Buddha's teaching, not easy to live out in the forest or the jungle. And so before that disagreeable condition comes upon me, let me now at present arouse my energy to realize the unrealized. And then one reflects, now I am healthy, seldom sick, so let me make the effort before illness overcomes the body. Yeah.
What sutta number is that? 579?
The 578.
So is there any ways that we can help those people in this stage? I mean, if they do not practice Dharma or any teaching. So because I mean, I've been seeing so many people at this stage, even though they are young, but they with say mental illness, which so the illness that probably they will have that for the rest of his or her life. So, and also the old dying people. So is there any way we can help them to cope with this type of kind of very lasting distressing?
Yeah, that I don't really have any expertise in this myself. What is that? Well, for older people, if they're people who are Buddhist and have some trust in Buddhism, one can give them advice, even though they can't practice very vigorously, but one could, if they really have faith in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, you could tell them at least to be mindful of the Buddha, to bring the Buddha to mind. For people who have like a severe mental illness, I don't think that there's anything that can be done. Yeah.
Even the young with the mental illness is very tough.
Yeah, it's very difficult, yeah.
When should we reflect upon these authorities, Bhante?
Yeah.
I mean, are they remedies for, are these authorities, these reflections, are they like remedies for certain specific challenges that arise during our practice?
Yeah, I would say that these are the sort of antidotes to unwholesome states of mind, like unwholesome thoughts, and also antidotes to laziness. Yeah.
But also if you're having thoughts of going back to the home mind.
And about the third kind of authority, there are ascetics and Brahmins who can read our minds. Are they trying to read, always trying to read our minds and see what we are doing, what
all
we're
the
thinking?
time?
Yeah.
I don't know, since I don't have first-hand acquaintance with people like that. But presumably, as I said, one doesn't have to think of other human beings like the yogis in the Himalayas that think that we're so important that they have to direct their mind halfway around the world in order to read our thoughts. But we could think that there are devas, maybe these would be beings who formerly were people personally connected with us, and now they've become something like protective deities who would protect, their job is now to protect us. And if our relationship with them is based on the Dhamma, then they would be sort of checking in on us to determine what kind of minds, what kind of states of mind we are giving rise to, and what kind of thoughts we're thinking. And whether or not this is factually the case, it's just a kind of useful, maybe tool to apply in order to check unwholesome states of mind and to encourage oneself to be more diligent.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, in fact, now I remember that there's one chapter in the Anguttara Nikaya I think it's called the Vana Sangyutta, which means the connected discourses on the forest. So it's just a short chapter in the book of the Anguttara Nikaya on the verses, and then several of those suttas, there's a monk is meditating, but he's becoming drowsy or lazy, and then a deity comes to a devata to stir him up and arouse a sense of urgency in him. Okay, boy.
Bhante, you mentioned 5 types of reflections one should do daily, and I think you only explained the first 3. What are the 4th?
Yeah, I mentioned 3.
And what are the 4th one and the 5th one?
Yeah. I thought that I mentioned this last week, but anyway, I'll do it again. Okay, so the 4th one is there must be parting and separation from everyone and everything that's dear and agreeable to myself. Sabbehi me piyehi manapehi nana bhavo vinabhavoti. So there must be parting and separation from everyone who is dear and agreeable to myself. And the 5th is that I am the heir to my karma. I have karma as my own. I'm the heir to my karma. I'm bound to my karma. I have karma as my origin. Whatever deed, good or bad, I might do, of that I will reap the result. Kama sakomi, kama dayado, kama yoni, kama bandhu, kama patisarano. Yang kamang karisame kalyanang va papakang va tasa dayado bhavisami iti. Yeah, so those 5, and the Buddha says, not only for monastics, whether householder or those gone forth, whether man or woman, they should be frequently reflected upon. Yeah, by the way, Venerable Analayo has a book called Old Age, Sickness, and Death, in which he's collected all of the suttas, or at least many of the suttas, relating to those themes. So it could be useful for elaborating on these ideas. Okay, any further questions? Okay, in that case, then we'll call it a day. Okay, so we end with 3 half bows to the Buddha. Okay, 1 time. 2nd time. 3rd time.